Good morning, everyone. I mentioned Monday that I would probably not do a new Bujo tour yet, since I had company last week and couldn't finish getting everything set up. But I did get this set up, so I thought, well, we missed out on that too from last week because I had company, so let's talk about it this week. Like so many other people in this country, I have been on a weight loss journey this is 2019. This is when I started, was prior to December of 2011. So the last 8 or 9 plus years, at least, in all honesty, the weight I have been chasing is my pregnancy, my first weight while I was pregnant. Didn't find out I was pregnant till I missed my first period, and by that point I was like 12 weeks. So I was 3 months in. I don't know what I weighed prior to actually getting pregnant, so I probably weighed a little less, but I've been searching for 163 pounds for more than 21 years. My son is older than drinking age, so in 2011, as you can see here, my top weight was 213 pounds, and I was not a happy camper. I couldn't keep up with a lot of things. I couldn't keep up with my son. I couldn't keep up with friends. I was always out of breath. I didn't look real good, and in fact I have a picture from around that time that I will share with you. I'm going to block out my face as best I can as soon as I find a piece of paper to put over it. Hold on, because I really don't want people knowing who I am. So gosh darn it. Alright. That was me. 213 pounds. Nope, not at all proud of that. So, anyway, in 2011, I decided that I was going to lose some weight one way or another. I decided on doing Atkins at that point in time. So that's basically what I did. I decided to start doing Atkins. I disliked every single little bit of that. Period. Just did not like it, did not want anything to do with it. It was the worst time losing weight ever. I lost 40 pounds. I got down to 173 pounds prior to December of 2011, and I hated every moment of it. I ate salads, meats, mayo, butter, vegetables, very few fruit because it had too many carbs in it. Couldn't eat my favorite veggies because they had too many carbs in it. I hated all of it. Hated it. In December, my dad unexpectedly died. And I was also the primary caregiver for my grandmother at that point in time, and she was getting sicker and nearer to the end of life. So, my dad died right before Christmas. Christmas Day, my grandmother went back into the hospital, and by January, I had put back on 15 pounds. So within a month and a half from eating normal foods, because I was with family, dealing with funeral stuff, eating whatever they had prepared, and then having to eat out with taking care of my grandmother. Again, 15 pounds. Put on 15 pounds in a month and a half. Part of the problem with my weight loss is that I'm also, I have Hashimoto's. I have since early 20s. So it's very hard for me to lose weight too, as you'll see as we go through this. In March of 2013, I was at 185 pounds, so I'd lost 3 in over a year, only 3. In January of 2014, I started exercising, running, walking, weights. I did that at least 3 times a week. I did lose inches, because here, as you can tell, I've been tracking my weight for a very long time, obviously, through my FitnessPal, because I was using my FitnessPal in 2011 to count all my calories, because I was calorie counting as well as low carb. So I was using my FitnessPal during this entire year or more. I just don't have that information on my FitnessPal on the app these days. So in January, I started exercising. By December, apparently I hadn't lost any weight in between March of 13 and December of 14, so way more than a year. I did lose inches, which was nice. My clothes definitely fit differently, but I had no weight loss. So I decided I would start tracking everything again. I did my first 5K in October, and then I did another one in November, so I was running upwards of 5Ks. Let's see, this is 18, 17, 16. So in 2015, I made the decision to run my first 15K. So I started to see if I could lose some of this weight. So I started calories in, calories out, using my FitnessPal along with Atkins for a few months. And then I got frustrated, I think right around June, because I hate Atkins. I hate low carb. So then I decided to try If It Fits Your Macros, and that worked okay. And I was continuing my running, my walking, all of that. And so, as you can tell, I started January at 182 pounds. I had lost 3 pounds in between December and January. And then I was counting calories, I was doing some Atkins, and then I got hung up for a month plus, as you can tell, 178.8 in April and the same in May. And then I went up, which doesn't surprise me any. So then I decided to try the If It Fits Your Macros, because I wanted to eat what I liked, or try to. So I switched over to that, lost 2.5 pounds, gained again, lost, and then I got stuck. So in October 2015, I was at 175.6 pounds. I stayed there in November, stayed there in December, and at that point I was done. I no longer wanted to count anything at all, period. My total weight loss for 2015, 6.4 pounds. That was it. I was not particularly happy with that. If we add on the 3 pounds from here, from where I first started and made my biggest weight loss, I'd be at 9.4 pounds. Regardless, I didn't even lose 10 pounds in a year of continuous exercise. I was up to 4 or 5 days a week at that point with running. I was working on getting longer runs and bigger mileage. Like I said, at December, I did my first 15K, which is a little over 9 miles. So I was just done. I didn't want to count calories. I was just going to keep exercising because obviously everything I was doing was not making a difference on my weight loss. It was not working. I was still at the same weight in March of 2016. Again, I was just doing my running, my weights. At some point, I think in 2016, I did my first half marathon. So I was still continuing to up my mileage. And then February of 2017, I got separated from my husband finally. So life caught up with me. I had more life stress again. We saw what happened the last time I had life stress. I gained 15 pounds. So things had not been well for a long time. I'd been wanting this divorce for years. Finally had the separation happen in February of 17. I was up to 185.4 pounds. I had gained almost 10 pounds. Not surprising. Apparently life stress does that to you. And by the next year, there was that extra 5. Again, gained 15 pounds from life stress. I was still running. I was still doing workouts, even with having PTSD. I was still doing all of this stuff. So, in February of 18, I was up to 190 pounds. It was the highest I had weighed that I was aware of since 2012. January of 2012, over here, I weighed 188. That was after I'd gained 15 pounds from life stress. I was very frustrated. I was still trying to eat as healthy as I could, but I was definitely having issues with, I was eating when I wasn't hungry because you're supposed to eat breakfast. It's the most important meal. So I was making myself eat even though I wasn't hungry. And then I would do like a whole box of cookies because I was sad and depressed and crying and anxious and definitely eating my feelings, which is nothing really new. So I decided to fuck this shit. I decided that I couldn't understand why the hell I was eating breakfast when I wasn't hungry. There was no reason for me to eat breakfast if I wasn't hungry. So what if it's the most important meal of the day? I love breakfast food. Don't like eating in the morning. So I decided to cut that out because it wasn't making me happy. I also decided that I wasn't going to eat after 7 or 8 p.m. I'd give myself till 8. Because part of the reason why I packed on this weight again was because I was eating a pint of ice cream and then going to bed at, midnight. So my few rules were eat at lunch. My lunch breaks at noon. No eating after 8 p.m. And I would eat at least 1 vegetable and 1 fruit, or 2 veggies or 2 fruits a day. After that, I was going to be forgiving of myself because I had had a really rough couple of years. I'm talking stalking by my ex-husband, online harassment, it had been bad, and then the PTSD to go with it. So things had not been going well. So within a month, I had lost 6 pounds, just by not eating breakfast and not eating after 8 p.m. And as you can see, I lost a little bit all the way up until I moved. I moved in September of 2018, and it was crazy and hectic, and I put on a little bit, 0.6 pounds of weight with the stress of that move. It was not a huge deal. I was still eating no breakfast. I was still not eating after 8 p.m., except for a few times during the move where I didn't get around to eating until very late because of actually moving stuff and things like that. And during that month, I wasn't eating real well because of the move thing. So I was eating a whole lot of fast food at that point. I hate to even think about what my bank ledger looks like for the entirety of September. It was not good. We need to wrap this up because I have my job to get to. So after that month and things started settling down, I lost another almost 6 pounds and continued to lose just by not eating breakfast and not eating after 8 p.m. Not counting calories, not doing low carb, not doing Atkins or keto or paleo, or just eating whatever I wanted as long as I followed my couple of rules. Eat at lunchtime, which for me is noon, no eating after 8 p.m., and have 2 veggies, 2 fruits, or a fruit and a veggie every day. In December is when I kind of do my yearly, look at what I've done for the year. So I talk about how many steps I got that year, and I talk about, this year, how many hours of yoga, or not yoga, but meditation I did. I've been doing this for several years. So that's when I sat down and realized I had lost 19 pounds between February and December. So in 10 months, I lost 19 pounds. Even with all of my calorie in, calorie out, I had not lost that much weight. The last time I'd lost that much weight was by doing something I hated, which was eating low carbs. Hated it. Will not do that again. It's also when I realized I had been doing intermittent fasting for 10 months and did not even realize that that's what I was doing. And while this may not look like a huge deal to you, for somebody who cannot lose weight, as you can see from 2015, how hard it was for me to lose anything. I only lost a total of 6.5 pounds from January to December. And that was with me doing everything right. I totally blame my thyroid issues for some of that. Actually, I blame that for all of why I'm so weight loss resistant. So, I decided, after that point, I spent about a month. Come on. Fix. Sorry, there we go. I spent a month researching intermittent fasting and what it was and how it works, and discovered I was doing 16/8 intermittent fasting, and it went completely out again. Okay. And then I discovered there's all sorts of different ways to do it, and so I decided I was going to play with it. So I went from 16/8 and moved up to 20/4 and lost 4.8 pounds, which was amazing to me. This month I am still at 166.8, which is fine. I'm less than 3 pounds away from that goal weight that I have wanted for more than 21 years. So I'm not complaining at all. My fatty areas on my body have definitely started to disappear. I don't know how much weight I'm really, like, weight, I don't know how to, it's definitely fat loss that's going on there. So I'll show you a crappy picture of me currently without my face. So it's not that great of a picture, but you kind of get the idea. I'm much thinner than I was. If I can find a better picture, I'll show you that. I don't take pictures often for a variety of reasons. I am not that big on taking pictures. I still see myself as that person that weighed 213 pounds, even after all these years. So it's probably the best picture you're going to see of me. Anyway, this is where I'm at. I'm playing with intermittent fasting. As you've seen on my planning videos, I do 1 meal a day. I do 2 meals a day. Sometimes I do 16/8. Sometimes I do just the 1 meal and anywhere in between. And I'm keeping track of that just to kind of see how things go. Hopefully, in a couple of months, I will finally hit that 163, and I can celebrate. So, anyway, this is my journey and where I'm at. I'm definitely going to be sticking with the intermittent fasting. It works very well in my life. I still don't like eating breakfast. I'm good putting a time restriction on myself and saying, nope, it's after 8 p.m. You're not eating that candy. You should have ate that, when you were, as a dessert item. You can have it tomorrow with lunch. And so that works very well for me. So I will be sticking with this. I'm thinking about watching how many carbs I eat and only eating like a smaller amount. Like right now, I've definitely put on some water weight gain because I had taco salad the last couple of nights with tortilla chips. And so I've put on 2 pounds of water weight, and that's fine. It happens. So anyway, there's where I'm at. Now you know. Intermittent fasting's good for me. I enjoy it. I like it. And that's where I'm going to end this video. Plus, I have to go and play with my job. Bye, everyone.